22-year-old Emily had moved from her small town in Texas to Houston for a new job, but she had no idea that this would become the most terrifying chapter of her life. She found a small apartment near her office at a very cheap rent, but the people in that residential complex were very strange. Whenever Emily went anywhere, they would stare at her from head to toe, and even the cleaning staff refused to work in her apartment. Although she felt uncomfortable, she ignored it because the place was cheap and close to her office. One night, while talking to her friend Sarah on the phone, Sarah suddenly asked where the sound of a baby crying was coming from. Emily paused and tried to listen carefully, but she couldn't hear anything, so she ignored it. However, as days passed, everyone who called her at night kept asking the same question about a crying baby. This made her uneasy. Then one night around 1 a.m., Emily suddenly woke up to the loud crying of a child, but as soon as she opened her eyes, the sound stopped. She called out, asking who was there, but there was no reply. Moments later, she heard a faint laugh, as if someone was mocking her. When she looked toward the sound, she froze. There was a small child hiding behind her door. As soon as she noticed it, the child ran out. Emily chased after it, but found no one. When she returned to her room, she saw small red handprints on her mirror, and upon closer look, they were made of blood. Terrified, she asked her neighbors the next morning, and they told her that an old woman used to live there who was believed to practice black magic. After she moved into the society, every happy event turned into tragedy. Cars crashed, people lost their jobs, and she was known to secretly take small children and do strange things with them. Some children were even found sleeping in her house as if drugged. People were fed up, and even the building manager fought with her, but nothing changed. One day, someone saw her digging up a dead body from a cemetery and taking it home. After that, strange noises came from her house for days, like she was performing a dark ritual. Then one morning, the building manager was found murdered, his head severed and his body covered in scratch marks like those of a child. The residents finally forced the old woman out, but she left laughing. When the owner checked the house, he found black magic items and the skeleton of a small boy. People believed she had created a dark child spirit through black magic, and that same spirit killed her. The apartment remained empty for a long time until Emily moved in. After hearing this, she searched online and learned that some black magic practitioners use the spirits of deceased children to control them. Shocked and scared, she suddenly experienced a power outage one night, and the house went dark. She felt like she couldn't breathe, as if someone was choking her. When she looked at her reflection, she saw small finger marks around her neck. Then she heard a crying sound again, this time from inside her room. As she looked up, she saw two hands slowly emerging from the top of her cupboard, followed by the face of a horrifying child with rotten skin, sharp teeth, and long black nails. The child smiled at her in a terrifying way and suddenly jumped at her. Emily ran out of the apartment toward the elevator, but it wasn't working. When she looked back, the child was standing in the living room, slowly coming closer. Panicking, she rang her neighbor's doorbell, but no one answered. Struggling to breathe, she somehow managed to run to the main gate, where the security guards saw her condition and rushed to check her apartment. Moments later, she heard his scream, and then his lifeless body fell from above with the same marks on his neck. When she looked up, the child was standing on her balcony, its eyes bleeding. The entire society went into chaos. The next morning, a spiritual healer was called who said that although the old woman was gone, the dark child spirit she had created was still trapped in that apartment and was extremely dangerous. That same day, Emily left the apartment and moved away. The flat was permanently locked after that. She never saw the child again, but even today, the sound of a baby crying fills her with fear.